I'm Darcy Robchan with a look at your local news. Culture House is opening a brand new drop-in center within the city, with this Saturday being the first day its doors will open to the public. Our Kira Lyons reports.
Although the building is still a work in progress, the new drop-in center will be fully up and running very soon, providing a much-needed service for Lloydminster's homeless.
Lloydminster's cold about 8 months of the year. They don't have anywhere to go during the day, especially the weekends, Saturday and Sunday, because the Friendship Center and Olive Tree and the men's shelter, sometimes it gets really cold, we'll open their doors. But after they sleep at the men's shelter, they're out at 8 in the morning and they can't get back into 5 p.m.
Along with providing a warm place to go, the center will also be providing essential services to those in the city who need it most.
We're hoping to have computer stations that they can go and do searches on housing, find a place to live, searches on jobs. We've already had people say they're going to volunteer to help train them in resume writing. One of my favorite things is we're going to bring in a barber chair. We've already had a barber chair donated to help clean guys up and women and make them feel good about themselves.
It will be open to any adults, providing empowerment seminars, classes, training, and of course, a warm place to stay during the cold winter days.
If we can give them opportunity, give them things to do, give opportunity here and train them and empower them to live, make them believe in themselves, we can see the city change.
Fundraising is at the forefront of the center's needs. They're hoping to get businesses in the city involved to help provide the daily funds needed to keep the doors open.
We believe that $200 to $240 would allow us to hire a director that would look after the drop-in center and also provide some food. I'd love to do a hot lunch for them as well. We've often heard Alberta strong. I'm wearing a sweatshirt right now with Fort Mac. We can make Lloydminster strong, and we can stand strong together.
Kira Lyons, Newcap News.
Jerry Ritz's long-held parliament seat in the Lloydminster Battlefords area is up for grabs after he announced his retirement earlier this year. One of the candidates looking to seek the Conservative nomination for the riding is Richard Nelson. Nelson has lived in the Battleford since he was 5 years old. After making a career in the oil and gas industry, he went back to school and got a political science degree from the University of Saskatchewan in 2007.
Do you think any of those?
Absolutely fell in love with the cycle, fell in love with Canadian government, and I minored in Western Canadian history because I've always loved history. I was the museum kid.
Nelson is hoping to take over from Jerry Ritz, who has held the Lloydminster Battleford's parliament seat for over 20 years.
Jerry's accomplishments in this seat in the 20 years and 4 months that he held it were many. Freedom to market grain, rebuilding our pork industry after the Listeria crisis, rebuilding our beef industry after the BSE crisis.
Nelson admits that he has big shoes to fill if he wins the Conservative nomination, but he says he's ready to serve as the voice for Western Canadians and small business.
2 years of a Trudeau government, and I've seen my business shrink, or not so much shrink, but get a lot harder. There's a lot fewer new starts out there, so they can tell us that the economy is doing great, but I can tell you that here in the West, we're getting by. And we know that our problem in the West is not here in the West. Our problem is in the East. It always is.
The Conservative convention is scheduled this Saturday at the Lloydminster Exhibition Park. Nelson notes his frustrations that the convention is coinciding with Remembrance Day weekend, but encourages voters to show up.
Who benefits if the CN benefits?
The Conservative Party and all the candidates are very disappointed that it's come on a Remembrance Day. Veterans and Remembrance Day are extremely important to all of us, and we just hope that our supporters will understand that and understand that we didn't get to call the day.
For over a decade, Jack Kemp Community School has been teaching students about the importance of giving back by getting the entire school involved in Operation Christmas Child. In this week's Beyond the Classroom, we see how this initiative impacts everyone involved.
Students at Jack Kemp have been busy filling shoeboxes with Christmas gifts to send off to less fortunate boys and girls around the world.
It's so important for kids to have a really global perspective and to understand that there's other people in the world that have needs as well, and that there's something they can do. It really gives them a sense of empowerment to feel like they can commit to a project and see it through to the end.
The school packed over 50 boxes this year, filling them with basic necessities for hygiene, school supplies, and of course some toys, giving students here a sense of pride to be able to give back.
It made me feel good because kids who don't get stuff like this for Christmas are going to get one this year.
We've gone on a couple of trips where the kids have opened the boxes and just seen, I guess, more or less the miracle of the joy that the kids have. I don't know how to explain it. It's just joy, and for us to be able to give.
While people tend to focus on giving back during the holiday season, the school makes it a priority all year round with their Serving Our Society group, or SOS, which gets students involved with social projects.
We need to teach our students to be good community members, and that's part of being contributing members in our society, is understanding what other people's needs are and doing something about it and taking action.
Michaela Henschel, Newcap News.
The Agriculture Producers Association of Saskatchewan is applauding approval of the new Rail Modernization Act in the House of Commons. However, the bill still needs Senate passage. APAS President Todd Lewis says the legislation paves the way for a more efficient and accountable rail transportation system. Lewis is already concerned about backed up grain movement on CN Rail. He is hoping for the speedy passage in the Senate for the rail transportation legislation. Agrium Incorporated and Potash Corporation of Saskatchewan say they expect their merger to close by year-end after receiving conditional approval from Chinese authorities. In a joint news release, the two fertilizer companies said China's Ministry of Commerce has approved the merger. However, it requires the sale of Potash Corp's minority holdings in Arab Potash Company and a Chilean company with 18 months of closing. It is also requiring the sale of Potash Corp's minority holdings in Israel Chemicals Limited within 9 months. That is all the time we have for news for now, folks. We'll see you later.